America, but you're not Steve Rogers. You're right. I'm not.
Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, aka Captain America, finds himself in dangerous territory in Captain America Brave New World, one of few new movies I'll be reviewing this week on CJ at the Movies, along with 2 sequels to Paddington and Bridget Jones' Diary. I'm Christopher Zweig. Let's take a look. Our first movie is Captain America Brave New World, and even though we live in a time when we wish Marvel would go back to its roots, I still had a lot of fun with this one and was able to acknowledge certain things. If you recall, Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson goes from the Falcon to the new Captain America, and he has a young protege in training to become the next Falcon. His name is Joaquin Torres, and he's played by Danny Ramirez.
Damn, nobody saw that. Sam, package is secured.
Following William Hurt's death, Harrison Ford now takes on the role of General Thaddeus Ross, the man who wanted to capture the Hulk and tore the Avengers apart. He's now the President of the United States, and this would be Ford's first time playing one since Air Force One.
Well, with all due respect, sir, when you passed the Sokovia Accords, you tore the Avengers apart. Why the change of heart?
I represent all Americans now. Hell, half of them wouldn't even be here without the Avengers. The country needs this.
And when we disagree on how to manage a situation, what happens then?
Figure it out together.
Sam ends up in the middle of Ross's global and personal situations, and as the trailers promised, Ross eventually transforms into the Red Hulk.
You want me? Come and get me!
Captain America Brave New World has to have its battles indulged in CGI effects, but there are some entertaining fight choreography and some scenes that would require less of them. Besides, I was more into the story of how Ross struggles to overcome his life choices and how Sam, both as himself and Captain America, would try to see the good in him despite all the complications he has to deal with him. Mackie continues his superhero transition very well, and even though we miss and prefer Hurt, Ford does a good job adjusting to the role of Ross, and for obvious political and health reasons he has to lose the mustache and cigar. So even though a majority of us have to deal with the cynicism within this Marvel universe, there's still some entertainment value here, and I know some of you are going to hate me for saying this. Our next movie, or sequel in this case, is Paddington in Peru, the third film in this charming British family adventure in which the bear Paddington, once again voiced by Ben Whishaw, decides to have his human family, the Browns, on a trip with him to Peru to visit his Aunt Lucy, but by the time they arrive at her nursing home for bears, she disappears.
Oh, Lucy!
Hola! I'm afraid she set off on some sort of quest.
But she knew we were coming.
Well, that's what's so mysterious.
Where are you, Aunt Lucy?
Among the human characters, Hugh Bonneville is back as the father Henry, and Emily Mortimer replaces Sally Hawkins as his wife Mary, and the new cast members include Olivia Colman as a nun at the nursing home, and Antonio Banderas as the family's treasure-obsessed guide. He believes Aunt Lucy may have found El Dorado.
Your mom is the key to finding El Dorado. You mean... Nice chips.
He means the mythical lost city.
Oh.
Paddington in Peru doesn't top the last entry because sometimes the comedy can be tedious, and I'm not a big fan of its arachnophobia stare-down, but there are some jolly good laughs and plenty of heart for kids and their parents to be engaged in. Paddington floating down a river in his umbrella reminded me of Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, and Whishaw is still the perfect actor to bring out the lovable appeal in this bear. And like Wallace and Gromit, he can thrive in the 2020s, and therefore time is kind to all of them. And our next movie and last sequel on the show is Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, the fourth film in this popular British rom-com series with Renee Zellweger back in the Helen Fielding role. This time her husband Mark, played by Colin Firth, is dead, she has 2 kids, and the Hugh Grant character Daniel Cleaver, who was presumed dead in the last film, is still alive. Now that Bridget is back to being single again, she needs to overcome the cynicism within herself.
Do you miss Dada sometimes?
I miss him all of the times.
Can you survive?
I think so.
It's not enough to survive. You've got to live.
Was that the Dalai Lama?
Just Harry Styles, I think.
And that's Jim Broadbent back as her father. Now, who could Bridget's new suitor be this time? Could it be a much younger man played by Leo Woodall, or could it be her son's science teacher played by Chiwetel Ejiofor?
You can call me Rockstar.
Bridget Jones.
But you can call her mummy.
The last Bridget Jones movie, Bridget Jones's Baby, was on my list of the worst films of 2016 for its desperate and sometimes crass choice of comedy, but Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy gets the main heroine back on the right track, reminding us of the 2000s when she started successfully. Not all the jokes work, and there's more sweetness than comedy, which is okay. Actually, this is a warm-hearted sequel that continues to allow Zellweger to be as charming, awkward, and so iconic as she was before. This one is streaming on Peacock here, it'll be in theaters in the UK, but in any format, this sequel is delightful and a lot more necessary than we think. Our next movie is Rounding, and even though I enjoyed St. Francis and Ghostlight, which were both co-directed by Alex Thompson, I still think this film, which was made in between them, is a missed opportunity. Namir Smallwood does some very good work here as a young doctor who decides to transfer to another hospital following his tragic past. It also plays like a horror film when he starts to see some demons, and this is when the movie gets a little over the top. And there's also a young asthma patient played by the breakout star of Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, Sydney Flanagan. She might need a transplant, but he wonders if that's a good idea given her condition.
There's something off. It just doesn't quite add up. I think her life is at stake. She's sick. Get to hospital.
Maybe I'm not seeing this film the way writers and brothers Alex and Christopher Thompson did, but I do know that St. Francis and Ghostlight were both poignant character studies based on life and what positives and negatives can come out of it. Rounding gets dragged down by the obligatory demon scenes in what could have been a more poignant and haunting hospital drama, and there's not much payoff in it. I was trying to find the positives out of this film, and I found a few moments worth appreciating, especially the performances from Smallwood and Michael Potts as his new boss, but they're not enough for me to recommend the overall film. And our last movie is Hard Truths, the latest Secrets and Lies reunion between writer-director Mike Leigh and stars Marianne Jean-Baptiste and Michele Austin. This time Jean-Baptiste plays Pansy, an ill mother who belittles her family, insults other people, and is just an unhappy person to be around.
Look at you! Fix your face! You're dealing with the public, handling people's food.
Stop! Please.
Oh, you can pipe down and all standing there like an ostrich.
We also meet her sister Chantel, played by Austin, who is a hairdresser and has a much better attitude than she does. In fact, she tries to be her voice of reasoning when she wants Pansy to visit their mother's grave on Mother's Day.
Do you want to come to the flat on Sunday? The girls would like to see you.
You know I've got health issues. I might spend the day lying in bed.
She makes everything about her. She's rude, man.
I've been harassed by people all day. I'm sick to death of it. I just want it to all stop.
Yes, Pansy's outbursts can be overbearing at times, but still Hard Truths is a near-perfect Secrets and Lies reunion between Leigh, Jean-Baptiste, and Austin because of how it deals with the characters and their own turmoil and how it shows us the sisters on different sides of the coin. There are no guarantees of happy endings or resolved problems, and maybe that's how life usually works for some people. Hard Truths is a small example. Recapping this week's new movies, thumbs up for Captain America, Brave New World, and I'm sure a lot of you hate me for that. Thumbs up for Paddington in Peru. Thumbs up for Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, let's put the past behind us. Thumbs down for Rounding, and thumbs way up for Hard Truths. Well, those are the new movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the movies.